guys, welcome back to my channel. Before we get started with today's video, I forgot to mention something in the video that was released yesterday. So I still do have drama videos to react to, but I'm going to focus on doing a bunch of other like assorted videos just because like that's either suggestion horror or whatever you guys suggested, other channels, right? So I'm going to be doing like random videos, like today maybe a horror video, tomorrow maybe another animated horror video, the next one might be a suggestion from 10 years ago. You know what I mean? It just could be whatever, so it could be assorted, so now we don't know what's coming, which is obviously exciting because that's like, what's he gonna upload today, you know what I mean? Instead of always just knowing it's Damian. So I still do have more drama videos to watch, but so you may see me uploading at some point 10, 15 videos in a row about Damian, which again is just me trying to finish them up, and the reason why I'm not finishing it right now is just because I want to watch more videos too. I don't only want to watch Damian, I want to make it more sorted, and of course I'll upload the new drama videos that come out now because it is February now, so he's uploading new videos daily, Monday to Friday, so I'm watching those as well. But yeah, just be advised that I'll be doing random videos, but there still will be a point in time where I'm doing 10, 15 drama in a row just to finish up the old videos, and then I'll be done fully. But yeah, this video is going to be called 4 Frightening Stories That Happened While Playing Among Us. So I remember seeing this in my folder for a while, and I just always kept putting it off for God knows what reason. I haven't played Among Us, but I know my sister and her boyfriend played it. I know a lot of people played it. I'm pretty sure it was like really popular a year or two ago. I don't even remember when it was like really poppin', but it was pretty popular from my knowledge before. This is a Nightmare Files video, by the way. And yeah, this is going to be stories that happened while playing Among Us. I'm waiting for the video. I'm waiting to be doing a reaction video, and then a horror story is going to happen while I'm watching like a horror story. So that I'm gonna make my own horror story. I was doing a reaction video when this happened. Like I'm waiting for that to happen because again, that happened while playing Among Us. Well, what about 4 frightening stories that happened while filming YouTube videos? Can you imagine? That'll be pretty interesting. Anyways, if you guys do want to see more Nightmare Files videos, please comment that down below. If not, I will cut out Nightmare Files from my channel and stop reacting to them if you guys don't want me to, but if you guys still do, of course, I will still continue reacting to them. But again, this is going to be 4 frightening stories that happened while playing Among Us by Nightmare Files. Without further ado, let's go, guys.
I went over to my computer and there was a blue screen. In the middle of the blue screen was an icon that said, "Open for discussion." I clicked on it and it revealed...
Before we get started though, we already did get started, but be sure to like, comment, and subscribe as well. That's louder than I thought. PG, Hala, and Dove and Anonymous, I believe that was. Story number 1.
My name is Martin and I have a 10-year-old son whose name is Lewis. Recently, my son asked me to buy and install a game for his PC named Among Us. He's been playing it every day since. I don't really play video games, but I asked him how he was enjoying it, and if he was playing with his friends or not. He told me, yeah, he plays with his friend Colin. One night, I had made Lewis dinner, and told him to come down and eat. He said he was in the middle of the game on Among Us. He then asked me to play as he went to eat. I laughed, but I agreed. I wanted to see what this game was my son was playing so much anyway. I sat down and put the headset on, and did my best to start playing.
But how does he know what to do?
A discussion popped up and I saw Colin's name. When he spoke, his voice wasn't what I was expecting.
Deep?
It was a man's voice. He kind of sounded like he was in his mid-30s at least. I quit the game and went to ask Lewis some questions about his friend Colin. I thought maybe it was his dad playing at the time. I asked Lewis what class his friend Colin was in, and what he looked like. Lewis told me he didn't know. I said, "How don't you know? He's your friend from school, isn't he?" Lewis shook his head no, and he said, "He's not my friend from school. He's my friend from Among Us." Lewis said he played with Colin, and Colin added him and plays with him every time he's online. I'm not really any good with video games or computers, so I asked Lewis to block Colin and never play with him again. I didn't feel comfortable with an older man playing with my 10-year-old son so much.
Fair enough.
Later that night, before Lewis went to bed, I asked him if he had done what I asked him to do, and blocked Colin on his game. He said yeah. He also said when he said it on the mic that he couldn't play with Colin anymore. Colin got very angry and started shouting at him. I'm glad I found out when I did. But there was something wrong with this Colin. I thought that would be the end of it until the other day when I picked Lewis up from school.
Oh, God.
I saw he had a drawing with him. I couldn't see what it was exactly because I was driving, but I asked Lewis if he drew this in art class. He told me no. He found it in his bag during the lunch break. When we got home, I had a better look at the drawing. It was a drawing of two characters from Among Us. They were both holding hands. Above one of the characters was the name Lewis, and above the other character was the name Colin. It disturbs me that whoever this Colin is, he knows where my son's school is, and somehow had access to Lewis's bag.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked.
I've told both the police and the school about this, and I haven't heard anything or had another incident like this since. Just be careful.
I guess playing with whoever, like, no matter the age difference, isn't, like, crazy online if you're just playing games, but it is a little bit odd if you're, like, playing if, like, your best friend is, like, a 10-year-old.
We all know about the game called Among Us, but not everyone knew about it back in 2018. I downloaded the app back when it first came out, along with a few of my friends and some of their friends. We play a lot of games where it was just us and no one else. There was my friend Gianna, who would always invite this guy named Tyler. But I didn't know him, and the rest of us didn't know him either. It went maybe a month of playing every day to every other day, but I couldn't stand that guy Tyler. He would always try to turn everyone against each other, and would get mad that I call him out. So one day, I told everyone that I won't play with them again if Tyler continues to play. So everyone, including Gianna, chose to not play with Tyler anymore. That decision was made while we were in the middle of a game, and Tyler was voted out. Before he left, he said he'd see me around. We all laughed sarcastically and said that he's mad and he's a tough guy. The next day, I was just getting home from school like I usually do, and ate some food. My older brother had a basketball game because he played for the varsity team in our high school.
That's sus.
So my family left me because I just wanted to stay home. As I were laying down in bed in my room, which is on the first floor near the back of the house, I heard my back fence move.
Hi, Tyler.
I looked out of my window, and I saw that the light came on because it was dark by this time. I didn't see anything or anyone, so I continued watching TV and texting. I then began to doze off. The knock on my window immediately woke me up completely.
I'd be fucking terrified if I knock on the window at.
And standing there was some guy in a black Nike hoodie, black sweatpants with a pipe in his hand. The guy smiled at me and said, "Hey, I'm Tyler. What's up now?" He hit my window with the pipe, and it cracked the window, then ran to my back door. I called my parents and started to scream and yell. They were actually pulling up to the house from the game, getting ready to walk in.
Oh, shit.
I ran out of the front door, and I'm guessing that guy ran away hopping my back fence. I called Gianna and asked her how he knew where I lived. She told me that he was actually her boyfriend from another school, and threatened her if she wouldn't give him my address.
Oh, shit.
I've never been so afraid in my life. And I also never knew anyone could get that mad over video games.
Right? It's a video game. Who honestly cares? Like, I know somebody named Tyler, and this just makes me think they're a psychopath too. Crazy peeps nowadays, to be honest.
My name is Paul. I play a lot of video games with my group of friends. Recently, we've been playing Among Us most nights. Every time my friends and I play video games together, we always used our mics, and a lot of times, we just trolled other players. We were playing Among Us and had a lot of discussions about who the killers could be. Me and my two friends, whose names were Harry and Wayne, thought it was the guy named Sean, and so did the rest of the lobby. We eventually voted him to be ejected. During the discussions, Sean was getting more and more aggressive, insisting it wasn't him who was the killer. And me and my two friends actually found it quite funny. After the game, Harry had received a message from a guy named Sean saying he wasn't the killer, and we shouldn't have ejected him, and so on. Wayne thought it would be funny to invite Sean into our lobby to troll him the whole game, and tell the rest of the players in the discussion that we think Sean's the killer. So that's what we did. We played the 2 games with the Sean guy, each time trolling him and saying that he was the killer and getting him ejected. Sean eventually left our lobby, and we didn't play with him again that night.
He's gonna find you and
I'm
he's
a
gonna
light
kill you.
sleeper and wake up to the slightest of sounds. I woke up around 2 a.m. by the sound of a car. I looked out my window and I saw a car parked just outside my house. The car was still running, but no one got out, no one got in the car. I looked around and saw my street to be empty.
They're scoping
Just
out
before
your house.
trying to go back to sleep, my computer started up. I went over to my computer and
Pardon
moved the
me?
blue screen. In the middle of the blue screen was an icon that said, "Open for discussion." I clicked on it, and it revealed a very gory photo of a man who was cut in half, and underneath was written, "You have been ejected." I tried to move the mouse and turn off my computer, but it didn't work. The only thing to do was to look at the gruesome photo. My computer did turn off eventually, and as soon as it did, that car that was outside my house slowly drove off.
Was it a hack or
The next
something?
day I woke up and saw a text from my friends Harry and Wayne, and they both said they had similar experiences, that they received weird pictures on the computer and phones, pictures of people cut in half. I asked them both if they think it was something to do with that guy we were trolling.
Yes.
They both didn't know what to think. I thought that Sean guy somehow found out where we lived and hacked our devices. What scares me is how real the photos were, and how he knew where me and my friends lived and was able to hack our devices so easily.
Right? Like, it's one thing to find out where you live and stuff like that, but it's like hacking your devices too. It's like, it's kind of scary. Only psychopaths know how to do stuff like that. Well, not really, but...
My name is Rick, and for the past week and a half, every evening, my friends and I have been playing Among Us. 3 nights ago, I texted my 2 friends who usually play with me if they have time to play. One of them said they were too busy, and the other one, whose name is Rick, didn't reply, so I assumed he was busy. I was going to play anyway, but I saw that Eric was on the game and invited me to play. I figured he saw me on the game, invited me, and couldn't be bothered to reply. So Eric and I played that evening on Among Us. What was unusual was Eric was very quiet when we were having discussions. He was on the mic, but I could barely hear what he was saying.
It's kind of sus.
I actually texted him a few times telling him that he needs to turn his mic up, but he never replied. After playing for a few hours, I had enough and I decided to call it a night.
A few hours.
I
damn.
spoke on the mic to Eric, and I said I was going offline, but he didn't reply again. A few hours later, I got a text from Eric saying, "Sorry, I didn't reply. I was out and forgot my phone at home." I was confused, thinking, how was I just playing with him if he wasn't at home? Before I could reply, he sent another text saying, "What do you mean, turn my mic up?" I texted him back saying, "How did you play Among Us with me if you weren't at home?" He
It
said,
wasn't
"I haven't
him.
played Among Us since yesterday,
It wasn't
but it
him.
looks like someone has been in my room
Fuck.
and also had gone through all my things. Eric lives alone." I replied saying that it was definitely his account on the game, and I was playing with him. And I even heard his mic being used. Eric replied saying that he thinks someone had broken into his house,
Yep.
and also his spare key was missing from his garden, and a Snickers bar from his kitchen table.
Snickers bar.
It creeps me out to know that whoever snuck into Eric's house and somehow knew where a spare key was, played Among Us with me, and I had no idea who it was.
Honestly, that's actually pretty scary. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you think you're playing with somebody, and it's not them at all. Like, for example, let's say you're on a video call. Like, I remember playing GTA with my 2 best friends, Lucy and Alexis, if you guys remember them from, like, vlogs from, like, years ago. Me and them usually play on the phone call. So, like, we can obviously talk and communicate through there. We don't really have mics or anything like that. We don't do that. We just call over, like, a messenger call. And sometimes we have videos on, so it's pretty... It's like we know who we're playing with, right? But yeah, it's scary because like I know being online. Like when I was younger, like I played a lot of GTA. Haven't played in so long actually. Actually, kind of want to beat up some bitches in the game, and rob some bitches in the game, and yeah, enjoy their illegal stuff in the game. But yeah, like I remember there's someone named Blue Snake that I watch, or not that I watch, that we're friends on PSN or something. Because I have a PS3. I know, call me old school. I have a PS3 still. I don't even have a PS4, and I know people are like, oh, where's the PS5? Like, there's probably a PS6 up by now. But I don't care. I don't need to spend money on that. I don't use it anyways. Like, I haven't played my PS3 in a while. Normally, I only play games on my phone. So, just whatever games I can find that are entertaining and addictive. On my watch, call me a fat ass. Time to get moving. Fuck you. Yeah, be careful who you're playing with online. It may not be who you think it is. Make sure that if you're playing with your friend, that it's your friend, because just because it's your friend's account, that don't mean it's them. Normally, it would be them. Like, you wouldn't think each time you're playing, is this really this person? Like, you're gonna think, yeah, of course it's him or her. But in case they're being weird or anything, call them. Be like, you good? You okay? You alive? Or what's going on? You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, how do you break into someone's house and then just start playing Among Us with one of their friends that you like, with a friend of the person that you broke into the house into? Like, that's kind of weird. Like, I'm just gonna break into the house next door and then play with on my neighbor's friend and play Among Us with them and pretend I'm her. And yeah, they knew where the spare key was too, so that's a little bit sus. It's like they knew that person. I assume it's somebody he knew that knew that a spare key was there. Yeah, don't tell anybody where your spare key is. If you have like a lockbox, don't tell anybody the combination ever. Hide the lockbox if you can, actually, just because if it's not visible, you kind of have to like look for it. Don't hide it, but like maybe put it behind, like put it somewhere where you wouldn't see it from the outside. You would see it more from like your side, like from inside you would see it, but not from the outside. Do something like that, because then like first of all they don't see the lockbox at all. You can disguise it to be something else, and then obviously there's a lock they would have to get through too, right? So it's like a few good obstacles you have to kind of like overcome in order to get the key, right? But like don't having a spare key like in your mailbox or something, or under your mat, where probably the most typical places are. I wouldn't do that. Just get a lockbox and put it somewhere where someone wouldn't really think to go. You know what I mean? Just do that. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like. Be sure to comment down below what you guys saw this video, and be sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. And yeah, don't be careful who you're playing with, because it may not be the person you think it is. That's all I really gotta say. Just be careful, guys. Be careful with anything, to be honest. Like anything. Like there's so much things that can happen, bad things, and it's just scary. Ugh. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.